Hey there, are you currently living in the state of Idaho, but you are curious about how grandparents and parents can help save for their children's college expenses? Well, that's what I'm talking about today, so stick around. Hey there, my name is rebelann-mueller, and I'm a realtor here in the Boise and Treasure Valley area with Better Homes and Gardens, 43 Degrees North Real Estate. I moved here about 17 years ago with my family from California, but now I'm lucky enough to help other people just like you do the exact same thing. So if you are interested in relocating to the area, down below in the description of this video is a great relocation guide, and it can tell you what it's like to live, work, and play here in the area. This is episode 3 that I am doing with Ron Strobel from Retire Sensibly, and today we are talking about how to help your children pay for college and the programs that are out there that can help you do it.
Keep going.
So thank you, Ron, for joining me today again. Today we're talking about how to save for our kids' college expenses, because college is expensive these days, yeah?
Yeah. So college savings accounts have become really popular over the last few decades. As the cost of college has steadily increased year after year, it's become more and more of a problem. How do you pay for your kids' college expenses, especially if you have 2 or 3 or even 4 or 5 kids?
Yeah, that's going to be a hefty
It's a huge burden.
bill.
And nobody wants to leave their kids with student loans. So thankfully in Idaho, we have a couple different ways to handle that. The primary way is called a 529 savings account. You also have other accounts such as Coverdale ESAs, and there's a few others. Some people use their Roth IRAs even as a savings vehicle for college expenses. So with the 529 account, that's the one that you'll see the most often. And typically the parents put money into that account just like they would put money into an IRA or into a 401k.
Okay.
And the money is invested usually, and it has the opportunity to grow over time. And then once the child reaches college age, they can pull that money out tax-free for what's called a qualified education expense.
Okay.
And there's a long list of what qualifies for that, but the basics are tuition, room and board, books, even their internet bills in college can sometimes be paid for with that account. Yeah.
That's kind of amazing.
Yep. So it's a very flexible way to really help your kids set aside money for college expenses.
Okay.
And one of the really cool things about it is that the grandparents can also contribute. It's not just limited to the parents.
That's kind of nice.
Yep.
Grandparents out there.
Yep. So one of the things we often see is grandparents will say, oh, we're going to help with college expenses, but that money's never actually allocated. So it's a big unknown for parents, how much are they actually going to contribute? Especially if you have multiple kids, are they only going to help one or are they going to help all 3? What's that look like?
Right.
So the 529 account is a good way for the grandparents to actually commit to putting that money in that account on behalf of the grandkids. And that really helps them know how much money am I going to have for college and how much am I going to have to take out in student loans.
That is really helpful. And I'm sure it's there's some tax benefits to that as well, right?
Yep, absolutely. So the state of Idaho offers an income tax deduction on your state income tax return. So not federal, just the state. And it's up to $6,000 per adult taxpayer. So a married couple, for example, could get up to a $12,000 tax deduction if they put $12,000 per year into the ideal 529 account. So the interesting thing to note there, though, is that if you walk into a bank or a financial institution and tell them you want a college savings account,
Right.
that is not eligible for the state income tax
So it has
deduction.
to be specific.
Yep, there's only one type. It's called the ideal account, and we'll put the link in the description below. But only money put into that ideal account is deductible on your Idaho state income tax return. So that's kind of something that surprises a lot of people.
Right.
They find out, oh, we went into our bank, we signed up for this college savings account. Then 10 years down the road, they realize we could have got a state income tax deduction. We just put it in the wrong type of account.
Ooh. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's really important to know then.
Definitely. And it's a good incentive too, if you're trying to figure out how are my kids going to pay for college. You can kind of use that as a reason for encouraging your parents or grandparents, whoever, to contribute to those accounts, because if they're an Idaho taxpayer, they could theoretically get that state income tax deduction.
So can other people, say if you had like an aunt or an uncle, can they contribute to that as well?
Yep.
Or does it just have to be direct relation for grandparents?
Nope, there's no linear relationship required at all.
Oh, that's nice. You can have the whole family contribute.
Definitely, yeah. Well, it's a great way to give a gift too, you know, even if it's just $50 or $100, if it's made when a child's young, then theoretically that could grow into being quite a bit over the next 10 or 15 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Well, that is really good information. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us today. If you are thinking about moving to the area, don't forget that relocation guide down below. Also, Ron's information and website will be down below in the description, along with the link to the
Ideal 529 account.
Right. Also, don't forget, so there's episode 1, which has a link up here that you can click to watch.
Episode 1, we talked about how Idaho taxes retirement income and whether or not Idaho taxes Social Security benefits.
Okay. And then episode 2, there's a link right up here too.
And we talked about whether or not Idaho has an estate tax and how Idaho taxes out-of-state landlords.
So be sure and click those links if you are interested in learning more about those topics. I hope you have a great Friday, and we will see you next weekend.